MMA is an unpredictable sport. It is because in MMA, a fight could end in a blink of an eye. Or it can go on till the very last second, and the fighters can get severely injured.
That might be the greatest title fight in the history of the light heavyweight division. And I have no idea who won.
That is probably one of the reasons that keep MMA fans hooked. So what are the most important moments, secrets, and knockouts that make up MMA today as we know it?
Look at this punch. Right on the floating rib. Scott instantly winces in pain. He is hurt badly. Very badly. And boom! Gets caught coming in on the butt.
A lot of different things can make a moment memorable, whether it be an epic fight, a first for the sport, a gruesome injury, or something that is memorable for inexplicable reasons.
Successful as anyone in MMA history.
Who knows where Anderson's head is at right now?
I love it!
Look at this.
Nick Diaz is doing an Anderson Silva. John McCarthy says, let's fight. I don't think Anderson will be goaded in.
Look at this. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Like any billion-dollar sports company, things are never going to be easy. But when you're dealing with something as specific and brutal as mixed martial arts, there can be a few issues that you won't get quite as often in other sports. Welcome to the age of MMA. Enjoy this video. Let's start with one of the biggest shockers in UFC history when Holly Holm beat the undefeated, undisputed queen of UFC, the rowdy Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey was the most dominating champion in the UFC women's division. She was unstoppable because she dominated everyone in her way. Ronda Rousey used to make a skilled fighter look like an amateur. No woman in MMA could stand in her way. Rousey had defended her belt 6 times before facing Holly Holm. Out of those 6 fights, only one went past the first round. Heading for her 7th title defense, Rousey was a heavy favorite. However, things didn't go the way the champ wanted. Holm landed a perfect head kick in the 2nd round and won that fight via KO. It was the first time MMA fans got to see Rousey get knocked out. It is one of the biggest upsets in the history of the UFC women's division to this day. When you talk about MMA, it is impossible to keep the notorious Conor McGregor out. Every moment of his inside and outside of the octagon is eventful. His fight with Khabib the Eagle Nurmagomedov is one of the biggest to ever have happened in MMA history. In the build-up to the fight, every limit was crossed as religion, friends, and families were all dragged in. Many thought that McGregor was the one who could defeat the Eagle. It was the build-up to the fight and what happened in the immediate aftermath that has led to them having a hostile relationship. McGregor even attacked Khabib's bus while the Russian was still in it and broke the windows. However, that didn't happen as Nurmagomedov won the fight via submission. As soon as referee Herb Dean stopped the fight, everything that happened before the match came back boiling in the Eagle. However, the post-fight brawl was just as spicy as the fight and pre-fight build-up. Khabib instantly threw his mouth guard at someone in McGregor's corner. This led to a brawl outside of the ring, and in an unexpected turn, several members of Khabib's team jumped McGregor from behind while he was still in the octagon. Despite losing on the night, it hasn't stopped McGregor from bad-mouthing Khabib at every possible opportunity, whether that be online or during interviews. However, the one we will always remember will be the one ahead of the Poirier trilogy, where he attempted to destroy and dissect Khabib's legacy in the sport.
Poirier, low.
Where's he gone, but? Where's he now?
He's retired.
Yeah, well, why? He went sprinting. He's gone. Shit, his jocks became fat and riding off. He done nothing in the sport. All he done in the sport. Yeah, oh, brilliant. Damn, what?
He's never lost.
He was 13-0 fighting guys with 3 wins and 6 losses. It was his father's shows. His father had the shows set up, and he was fighting bleeding guys with like 2 wins and 8 losses and all. That's his record up until he's 20-0. He has 3 fights on the trot in the UFC. Before that done him well. And then before that, it's nothing. It's pullouts. Couldn't make weight. You know, that's that. So,
now the last time
and now he's gone.
Next up, we have Forrest Griffin, who had the opportunity to face Hall of Famer Tito Ortiz in Ortiz's final fight at UFC 148. The fight was incredibly close and would come down to a judge's decision. While awaiting the decision, Griffin did something we'd never seen before.
He drives me crazy, this guy. It's like professional suicide. The things he does, people love Forrest Griffin.
He assumed he had lost and left the locker room before a winner could be declared. It took UFC President Dana White to get him back to the octagon, where Griffin was declared the winner.
So he turned around and he ran back in the ring, and then I met him out back in the hall. I said, "What are you doing? What's wrong with you? Are you mental?" And he said, "I was really depressed."
But this is only part one of this shocking moment. As Ortiz was being interviewed for the final time by Joe Rogan, Griffin snatched the mic and disrespected Ortiz by conducting an interview that could only be described as bizarre.
Is that really your last fight in the octagon? Yeah. I give it my all, man. You're a great fighter. I don't know, I came in here, 2 people winner. One last man lives the winner. Tito, thank you so much.
What did you say to him?
Is this live? Yeah, okay. I said, "Are you out of mind? What are you doing? Stay away from the microphone unless Joe Rogan's interviewing you, okay? I don't know if you're bucking for a new job and you want Joe's position, but it isn't happening tonight."
It shouldn't come as a surprise to see McGregor feature again so soon in this video. UFC 194 was very exciting as Jose Aldo was undefeated for a decade before he faced Conor McGregor. The UFC featherweight title shot against Jose Aldo at UFC 194 was supposed to be Conor McGregor's toughest MMA challenge to date. But as he has been known to do, McGregor shocked not only the MMA world but the entire sports world as well. It took the Irishman only 13 seconds to knock out Aldo and take the title from a man considered one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world.
Jose Aldo, Conor McGregor.
The most highly anticipated featherweight fight of all time. Green trunks for the southpaw, the notorious Conor McGregor. Black trunks for the champion, Jose Aldo Jr.
Relaxed and smiling. Oh! She slapped him! Is the new UFC featherweight champion of the world!
Miesha Tate puts Holly Holm to sleep. After spectacularly taking down Ronda Rousey to win the title in her previous fight, Holly Holm's first offense was against Miesha Tate. Holm was a heavy favorite for her fight against Tate. However, Tate shocked the entire MMA community as she put Holm to sleep with a rear naked chokehold in the 5th round.
Holly's trying to get right back.
He's got her back. Back, still. And it's over. And Holly Holm goes to sleep.
A 43-year-old over-the-hill veteran, Randy Couture, went into UFC 68 as a major underdog against Tim Sylvia. Even though Couture was the reigning UFC heavyweight champion, Sylvia was in his prime and experts expected a changing of the guard. But that wasn't the case. Couture shocked the world as he majorly dominated the fight. Even being a 43-year-old didn't stop Couture to claim a unanimous decision victory over Sylvia. He then became the new UFC heavyweight champion at UFC 68. It was one of the craziest fights in the history of the UFC heavyweight division. Couture showed that he still had what it took to stick with the younger fighters in the UFC as he dominated the entire fight until the final bell. Matt Serra finishes Georges St. Pierre. St. Pierre was always a dominant force no matter who he was fighting and is considered the greatest welterweight of all time by many. Leading up to his bout with Matt Serra, GSP was a heavy favorite. Serra had never won via knockout and only had one stoppage win. UFC 69 would change that. In the third minute of the first round, Serra shocked the UFC world by defeating the massive favorite St. Pierre. But the way he won added to the shock value. Serra connected with a series of strikes that forced the official to stop the match, awarding the bout to Serra via TKO, his first ever UFC knockout. Next up, we have the fastest knockout in the history of UFC. Ben Askren and Jorge Masvidal clashed in a welterweight bout at UFC 239. Askren was undefeated in his MMA career before he faced Masvidal. Coming out of a submission victory against Robbie Lawler at UFC 235, Askren was 19-0 and a heavy favorite for the fight. However, Masvidal shocked the world as he landed a perfect knee as soon as the bell rang. It only took 5 seconds for Masvidal to win the fight via KO.
The fight clock is brought to you by
It is the fastest knockout in the history of UFC. This was the craziest moment MMA fans got to witness. Nobody thought that they would see Masvidal knocking out a former undefeated Bellator and one championship welterweight champion this quickly. It is truly a once-in-a-lifetime moment. After the fastest knockout, we have the greatest comeback in MMA history when Anderson Silva clashed with Chael Sonnen. The first meeting between Silva and Sonnen had an incredible build-up due to Sonnen's tendency to trash talk and hype behind Anderson Silva's reputation.
I'm here purely to win the world championship, period. And it doesn't have a lot to do with Anderson. Getting to beat up Anderson is just a bonus.
Sonnen dominated Silva with vicious strikes and a dominating ground game. For the first 4 rounds, Sonnen controlled the fight, both standing and down on the ground. That looked like the biggest challenge Silva had ever faced in his MMA career. Sonnen was winning the fight on the judges' scorecards. However, while Sonnen was swinging wildly from the top position in the 5th round, the Brazilian jiu-jitsu expert Silva caught Sonnen in a triangle choke and forced him to tap.
Wow. Big punches from Chael Sonnen. A record-setting win. Triangle, watch out, triangle. This is trouble. Chael's in big trouble. Chael's got his legs. He's got his legs across. That's what's he's tapping.
It was one of the greatest comebacks in the history of the MMA. Anderson Silva's broken leg at UFC 168. In a middleweight title bout against Chris Weidman at UFC 168, Silva broke his left leg while kicking his opponent in the 2nd round. In that round, Silva's left shin bent while he landed a kick on Weidman's left leg.
It's a good shot to the body. Oh, nice. He checked it.
No.
He hurt
his leg, and it is all over.
It was considered one of the most shocking and severe injuries, as it looked like it may end the legend of Anderson Silva's MMA career. Weidman, who earned his belt with an upset victory over the long-reigning champion Silva in their first fight, claimed victory after also dominating the first round of the rematch. It was one of the most shocking moments of Anderson Silva's MMA career. Dan Henderson KO Michael Bisping. Michael Bisping's trash talk leading up to the UFC 100 bout was not answered by Dan Henderson.
If I go out there and fight the way I know I can fight, then I know I can beat him. He has his big right hand. I very rarely get hit, you know, and people have said I'm a pain in the to hit and I'm a pain in the to spar with. I think I'm going to be too quick for him. I don't think he's going to land that big shot.
At least not until they met in the cage. Henderson showed early that the English fighter wasn't going to be much of a challenge as he defended takedown attempts and hurt his opponent early. In the second round, Henderson delivered his H-bomb and put Bisping to sleep. He also followed up on it in what was arguably the best moment of his career. This is regarded as one of the most vicious knockouts ever. So, which of these moments got you to spit your drink out? Do tell us in the comments below. Also, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more amazing content in the future as well. Peace out.